Hey, what's up, guys? This is Max McGee from ESPN Sports Center, and Black history is beautiful because it shows us the change that we've made and the change that we're about to make for the future.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Rolling Out Best of a Generation. I'm Rashad Milligan, and today we're joined, as always, man, it's Best of a Generation. We only bring in the A-listers. We only bring in the best of the best. We only bring in the viral, the movie. And today we have a very special guest all the way in Connecticut, Bristol, Connecticut, to be exact. ESPN's newest anchor for Sports Center. We have Mr. Max McGee. Max, how you doing today? Hey!
I'm great, man. Thank you for having me.
No problem. I mean, Mac's story is amazing. If you haven't heard it, if you haven't seen, it's gone viral. It's got over 14,000 likes at the time we're recording this. When Max was hired at ESPN, he just, took a moment to really just kind of reflect on his journey, because 5 years ago, he was working at Famous Dave's and Capitol Grill. So to move from there to now, his story has just touched millions of people. It's inspired millions of people. Max, just how has it felt since, kind of you've received all this feedback sharing your story?
For the past few months, it's been a whirlwind, but I've always just tried to keep the main thing, and just try to focus on what I'm supposed to do. I didn't have any intention of inspiring people, and hearing you say that it's inspired thousands of people and it's about to touch millions, that's not something you can even fathom of dreaming. All I was doing was just trying to work hard every day as efficiently as I could. And I knew it was going to be a long-term plan. But I didn't know that I was going to be at ESPN in 5.5, 6 years. There was no way. I had that in my plan, but I knew I would be somewhere as long as I put the work in every day. When I started off on the journey, I knew it was going to be hard. I had that talk with myself. I said, look, I have potential. So does everyone else. There's always going to be someone who's going to be outworking me. I can be in my ego if I want. I can be in my feelings if I want. But there's only one person who's in my way, and that's myself. And I figured if I can just get past myself, I can do anything I put my mind to. I had great parents at home. I still have great parents at home who are motivating me and pushing me every day, and trying to keep me even keel. Don't get too high, don't get too low, don't read your own press clippings, post what you need to on social media, and then get off. You don't need to interact with everybody, Rashad, as you know. So I'm just trying to keep all the lessons that they've taught me, try to stay humble. And but overall, to answer your question, it's sometimes it's been overwhelming because I haven't expected this much attention. It seems like everybody has a podcast, everyone has a question to ask you, but as long as I'm able to see the question, I'll answer it as best as I can. I'm trying to give out advice on how I've done it, but I'm taking it day by day.
Right. And the golden nugget I took from there for everybody, I think, post what you need to post and get on.
The internet is undefeated, Rashad, and you can't beat it. I've tried. We've seen other people try and fail miserably. So I feel like if that's not my strength, don't do it. So I'm not going to do it.
Kevin Durant, you can't beat him by replying, because then they're going to find something. You just can't win. You just can't win.
Always find something, man, whether it be something from 10 years ago or something you said to somebody, or maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Either way, I'm not going to get into it.
but the thing I wanted to ask you next, you already touched on it a lot in that opening answer, but I wanted to ask you about waking up with a dream and going on a journey. What are some of the characteristics that it takes to get to ESPN?
That's a good question. Something that no one has really asked me that before. The characteristics, first of all, you got to have that inner fire in you, man, because a lot of people are going to tell you no. 250 plus applications just to get in the TV business. Some people are misreading it wrong on the internet.
Say that again for the people. I have some young homies, right, that hit me up and text me and everything, and they're feeling discouraged because they graduated in December and they ain't got a job by March.
Man, listen,
it's been
I
2
waited.
months. So say that number again. How many applications until you got the first job again, Max?
250 plus applications from Quincy, Illinois to Sacramento, California to Tyler, Texas. I remember everyone's name. I'm not taking it personally, but I still remember. And that was just to get into the TV business. That wasn't in order to get to ESPN. I waited 14 months after I graduated college just to get in. And part of that was because of my own stubbornness. I was just trying to be a sports anchor. I wasn't trying to take a news producer job. I wasn't trying to take a news reporter job. But one day, Charlie Haldeman reached out to me from KPLC, Lake Charles, Louisiana. He said, "Hey, man, how would you like to come to, Lake Charles, Louisiana?" And I said, "Where the hell's Lake Charles, Louisiana?" I don't know where that is. I'm from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I'm going to have to go on the map and find out. So I went on my Maps app on my phone, and I squeezed and tried to extend it, make it bigger. And I said, "Oh, Lord, where is this?" But that's where I needed to go. But the characteristics, you got to have that inner drive. You got to just be determined to say, I don't care what's in my path. I know it's going to be hard. In order to get to ESPN or figure out your goals, odds are it's not going to be easy. So you just kind of get over yourself, get over your ego, and just kind of suck it up. You know it's going to be hard, but you just go and do it, put one foot in front of the other, and just try to find little small victories. Try to keep your circle small. There's no need to have everybody on your same side. And you don't need to tell everybody your business about the great things you're doing or the bad things that you're doing, because people are not always going to want to see you do well. You'd expect 1 million likes on a picture, but you only get 100. You got to just stay focused, man. The people over at ESPN, they're the best of the best for a reason. Not only because they've been doing it a long time, but because they have an elite focus in order to get the job done.
Right. But before we touch on to the next topic, I just kind of wanted to follow up along that side. What do you think? How do you feel about comparison? Because comparison, it can be, someone might compare just to, well, I wouldn't even say inspired, because I feel like those are two different things. But just how do you feel about comparison just in general? I'll leave it open.
I mean, everyone else can do all the comparisons. I'm not really into that business. And I feel like that, even though that's what ESPN does for, comparing athletes, who's better than Michael or LeBron or whatever, but they do that because they know that the viewers at home are always going to be intrigued by that. But I think it's a dangerous slope when you try to compare everyone's life paths. I'll tell you a quick story. I grew up in South Jersey, and I had a lot of great athletes around me. I wanted to be a professional baseball player ever since I was a little kid. ESPN was a backup plan. And I grew up playing high school baseball against Mike Trout of the Angels, Major League Baseball.
Best player now. For those of you who might not follow MLB, that is the best player in the game right now.
The best baseball player in the world, $400-something million contract, plays in Southern California with the palm trees and sunshine. I wanted that life. And when he got picked and I didn't, that burned me up. But that was his life. That was his plan. And that was destined for him. It wasn't destined for me. I wasn't even good enough to play college baseball, or let alone professional baseball. That was just a pipe dream of mine. So it's very easy to fall into that trap of comparing your life to others. But you got to remember, man, you got to focus on your life. Your life can be what it is today, or you can focus on what your life could be tomorrow, the next month. Someone's always going to outwork you. Someone's always going to want the same dream that you have. You know how many people who said, "Oh, Max, being on ESPN SportsCenter, that's been my dream." I've heard that for years, and I didn't want that to happen to me. I wanted to go out and get my dream. If someone wants to be a restaurant server, go out and be a restaurant server. You want to be a GM of a baseball team, go out and be the GM of a baseball team. Nothing is impossible. I feel like I'm living proof of that.
You better speak. You preaching, right? You preaching right now, man. You preaching. But I just wanted to move on to the next thing, which was, you kind of touched on it in the comparison answer of what, you all do on SportsCenter and ESPN. But what are the characteristics? This is best of a generation rolling out. This is the categories going under. What are the characteristics of being a GOAT?
I wouldn't know because I'm not a GOAT yet.
But you're the
Flat
best
out
of a
answer,
generation, Max. You're
I
on the
don't.
segment. This is best of a generation, Max.
Well, listen, man, I haven't even anchored my first show yet, so there's a still a very large sense of humility within me. I am not Stuart Scott. I'd consider him one of the GOATs. Scott Van Pelt, one of the GOATs. Uh, Robin Roberts, one of the GOATs. I have so much work to do in order to get to that level of status. Um, so I don't know what the characteristics of a GOAT are. I think you'd have to ask those great people. But I have an idea that it takes a lot of focus, a lot of determination. You don't really care if anyone says no to you. You're going to do what you need to do because no one knows you better than yourself. It's not your mom. It's not your dad. It's not an uncle, brother, sister, whatever. You're going to have to just strap up the boots and do what you got to do. But, in 30 years, you can ask me that question. I plan to still be around, and hopefully I'll be considered one of them.
All right, Max. All right, Max. And what are the characteristics with your journey of Black progress and career development? Just what do you think are those characteristics?
Of my journey so far?
Yes.
It's been a lot of suffering. It's been stressful. It's been painful. But at the same time, it's resilience, perseverance, focus. For me, it's just waking up every day with that fire. It seems so cliche to say, but this is kind of a twisted way to think of it. I woke up pissed off, man, every day, because I knew I wasn't where I was supposed to be. Look, man, I didn't have the best grades in high school. I didn't have the best grades in community college. I left community college for a year because my grades were so bad. I was feeling sorry for myself. I didn't know what to do with my life. I was working at Famous Dave's about 36 hours a week. I said, what am I doing? There's nothing wrong with being a restaurant server and all that, but I knew it wasn't for me. And it just came to me one day where, I just got tired of being sick and tired. And I didn't want that feeling again. I was mortified of it. And there was just one day I just woke up pissed off, and I just tried to use that energy into something positive. And I said, look, I'm going to change my life. And there's only one way I know how to change my life. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be happening over years. But if I do it every single day, let's just see what happens. I've never done anything where I've just gone all in. I've always had the potential. I was smart. I was bright. I could do anything I want. But I just said, let me just see what I can do for once. And I went out and did it. But those are the characteristics for me. It was a lot of pain. It was a lot of suffering. It was stressful. But there was a lot of anger with myself. But you look up one day and you find yourself at a respectable point in viewpoint in your own life. And here we are.
How does having faith decrease the doubt and just keep you moving from a day to day along your journey?
Because you've seen other successful people, and you're not the only story of perseverance. If someone else could do it, why not you? And that's just been my whole thing. It's why can't you do it? You're a Black man living in the suburbs and you don't really have the good grades yet. All right, improve your grades. Go do what you got to do. You want an internship? Go bang on the door until they answer the door. But I've always been a faith-driven man. I've had great parents, great grandparents, a great village around me who's always instilled faith. I didn't go to church every Sunday like I probably should have. But I just saw the examples of God being around me just by all the positives that he did give me. He gave me a roof over my head. He brought my dad out from the gutter of Camden. And my dad grew up poor. He didn't have anything, but somehow he found his way to playing college basketball for Rutgers, being the only person to graduate from college at the time. He sent himself to college. That was an example of faith. My mom grew up, taught school for the deaf, beautifully talented at piano, college degree, went to Howard, HU, you know. And so I saw so many examples of, people defying the odds, and I saw it right at home. I just said, look, if they can do it, why can't I do it? I believe in God, and I talk to him every night. I don't hear the mysterious voice talk back at me, but I just feel like he's watching over me. I lost a few friends, but that's just part of life. But faith has always been just a part of me, and it's just one of those things where it's hard to explain. But you have to. Sometimes you can't see it, sometimes you can't feel it, but it's there, and that's just how it's been for me.
What are two things you have done in your life to set goals? And how important do you think it is for people and for us as a race to set goals?
What are the two? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
What
I'm
are the
sorry. I'm
two?
sorry. I'm sorry. That was my fault. I should have gave you one at a time. I'll give you
Okay.
one at a time. Here we go. Run that. What are two things you do in your everyday life to set goals?
I talk to my parents because they ground me. They keep me settled. Um, they always tell me to not look over the mountain. You just got to take a step. And that was my problem in the beginning. I'd look over not one mountain, but 10 mountains, and it just seems insurmountable. You can't look over 10 mountains. It's impossible. You just got to take one step at a time. And I've thoroughly believed those people who can just take one consistent step at a time, they're going to get over one mountain eventually. So believe in your parents, because they always have the best in mind for you. If you do have parents around you, grandparents, trusted confidants that you believe in. For me, I was blessed with two wonderful parents and a village around me. That's my greatest possession. I don't care how much money I make, what career I take in my life. That's my prized possession is my family. And two, pray and believe in yourself. Simple as that. I wish there was like a more eloquent answer, but you just got to believe in yourself, man. No one else is going to believe in yourself more than you. And if it starts with you, that's it.
And what is the importance of goal setting? Second question now. What is the importance for it for you as a person and for us as a race?
Because it keeps you motivated, man. It keeps you not just from being complacent and stagnant. Black people, we all know the history of it, the slavery and all the trials and tribulations this race has come over the last 400-500 years. They're still doing it now. You see it in the NFL. You see it in every industry in America, around the world. This is a race that's still trying to climb that ladder, the corporate ladder, or whatever the ladder it is. But you have to set goals for yourself. But you have to not only just set goals, you got to work towards them, man. You can't just post on social media and say, this is what I want to do, but you're not doing the necessary work behind it. You can't post a workout video on Friday, but you're eating Cheetos and donuts all throughout the whole weekend.
Go ahead, Joe Burrow.
Yeah, Joe Burrow was right, man. You got to set your goals, and you got to go get them, man. There's no fancy way of saying it. There's no glitz and glamour to it. You got to go get it, and it's very important for Black people to set goals. Not just Black people, but everyone. Because I don't live a life that's complacent at all. I don't surround myself with people who are complacent. I'm trying to be as great as I possibly can to reach my potential, and I'm pushing the people around me to reach their potential as well.
Speaking of going back to greatness and stuff, I just wanted to ask you, who's your baseball goat? Excuse me.
Who's my baseball goat? Dang. Oh, man. Does it have to be just one?
If you want to give a top three and then cut down from there, like think out loud and give three, like Willie Mays, Hank Aaron. I don't want to spoil your list, but
Okay. Okay. Um, I would say one. Oh man. Three would be Mariano Rivera. For him to come in on the biggest stage in a closer role, you got 30,000 screaming at you in the biggest city in America, playoffs, World Series. It's all on you on a one-run lead. That's a lot of pressure, man. He literally created a pitch called the cutter. And I feel like that's a name that doesn't really get the respect it deserves because he doesn't play an everyday role. He's just a closer, but he's one of my goats. I'd say two in baseball. Okay. Willie Mays, he could do it all. He really could do it all. Run, hit for power, hit for average, field. I wish Bonds wasn't associated with the steroids because he was great before all that. Man, my goat. I'm trying to go through all the teams, all the divisions right now. You know what? I'm going to put Hank Aaron as number one. I'm going to put Hank Aaron as number one because he did it in an era that where there was so much off the field distractions. There was racism playing in the South. There was no any evidence of steroids or anything like that, any drugs. It seems like he did it on his own merit. And I can't imagine playing baseball at the highest level, playing a professional sport at the highest level at all, while also dealing with all the noise off the field. I mean, think about it. When you hit that home run, 754, 755, whatever it was, you still had people running onto the field to congratulate him. Like, you can't touch me up on the field right now in 2022. You can't get past the guard unless you're in Philly when things happen. But yeah, I think Hank Aaron would be my number one.
Okay. Well, one thing that you pointed out there, two of your top three ever, they're black. They're African Americans, and the third is, I guess you would call him Afro-Latino. He's dark skinned, he's light skinned. So I just want to ask you, even in your time of playing, you're talking about late 2000s, early 2010s, even in your final days of playing, the game is much less diverse now. It appears, you look at, I guess the Braves are kind of the easy example to look at. Early 2010s, late 2000s, Jason Hayward, the Uptons, and a couple other black guys that came on the team. This past championship winning team, one black guy. So I just wanted to ask you, what do you think is going on with baseball right now and its culture and its kind of inclusion of black people?
First of all, man, baseball is so damn expensive to get started. You need a bat. If it's a metal bat, who knows how much that's going to cost. When I was playing, it was like $399 for a really good one at Dick's Sporting Goods. So you got to pay for a $400 bat. You got to pay for not just one of the cheap gloves. You got to get the $200 glove, the one that Ken Griffey Jr. would wear or Derek Jeter would wear. So already $600. You got to buy cleats because you can't roll around in the dirt and the grass and just regular sneakers. So $150 in cleats. So that's $750 for an investment. You got to buy cool gloves, right? And you don't want the gloves from Payless or Five Below or anything. No, you got to get the ones on the top rack at Dick's Sporting Goods. $100, $850. We're already up to now. You got to buy baseball pants. You can't roll it in sweatpants, windbreakers. You get out of slide, $60. So what are we up to? 9, 10. So let's just say it's $1,000
in a bag.
Yeah.
You didn't even get a bag yet.
Right. So a bag, $200. So let's just say it's about a $1,200 to $1,500 investment just to go out and try out for the team, bro. You didn't make the team yet. And when you're 11, 12 years old and your parents don't make a whole lot of money, as black parents, it's like, no, go out and get a basketball and go shoot hoops. So I feel like that's why you see so many players in the NBA who are black. 70% of the league in football is black. You just need a ball and some friends. Teach yourself how to throw a spiral if you're a quarterback. Run around, go cut in the backyard or anything like that. Go find a hoop. But baseball is so expensive. That's why you don't see many black people in baseball. That's why you don't see many black people in lacrosse or golf or anything like that, because it's all the same thing. And that's why if I was put in a prominent position, I want to make it a little easier for little leagues in the urban communities, because I feel like they're missing out on a huge demographic. There's so many talented black baseball players, or who could be talented black baseball players, who just don't get the opportunities. They're looking into different sports because it's cheaper. A lot of good, talented athletes have great hand-eye coordination, and that's specifically for baseball, man. I feel like LeBron, he could have been an excellent baseball player. Hand-eye coordination, speed, agility, strength. He could have done it all, but, his rent was $17 a month. He couldn't play baseball when he was growing up. But I feel like Major League Baseball, and they could do a lot better job of marketing everywhere, but especially in the black communities. And I feel like I was always the only black baseball player on my team growing up in Little League. There's so many pictures. It was just that one black person on the team and that one black coach. That was my dad. But if it weren't for my dad, I wouldn't know how to play baseball. And taking me to the games in Baltimore to Camden Yards, seeing Cal Ripken Jr. Those are memories I'll keep with me forever. But the game has to do so much better for all demographics, but specifically for black people. Got to make it more affordable. But I truly understand why they don't.
We're running out of time, Max. Last couple of questions for you. Why is sacrifice a part of the African American narrative for Black collective advancement?
Why is sacrifice part of the narrative?
Yes.
Oh, man. That's one I truly don't know how to answer. I feel like any demographic of people could easily say that sacrifice is part of their journey. I don't know anyone's journey besides mine, man. I know that sacrifice has always been part of the African American community. I had to do sacrifice for my own self. I only know how to tell you about my own story. I lost friends because I was so competitive at this journey I'm on right now. I have tunnel vision. It's just part of life. You're gonna have to make sacrifices. You can't take everybody with you. I'm sure you've heard that before. In order to get what you want, but sacrifice is just part of life. And if you can make the right sacrifices, I feel like that's the key. If you can make the right sacrifices for the good of the whole, then you'll be okay. But it's going to take a lot of prayer, a lot of good conversations with the people you trust.
And my final question for the day: what does it mean to you? What does it look like to you to be an intelligent Black man?
Bring the people up behind you. You can't do it by yourself, man. I couldn't do it by myself. I had a village behind me. But if you see people who deserve the next opportunity to be brought up to the next level, bring them up, because it's not just about you. It's all about lending a hand to the next person. I feel like if that is the ultimate pride and joy for me. If you deserve that next shot and you're willing to step up to the plate, I'm going to bring you up too, because I can't do it by myself.
Max McGee, everybody. Give it up, Max McGee, ESPN Sports Center's newest anchor. And he has started, you already started working at the end of January, correct?
That's right, January 31st. I'm in Sports Center school right now. So
Sports Center school.
Yeah, so we're learning how to observe shows. We're learning the terminology. It's basically like a quarterback on the side of the field with the earpiece, just trying to learn the plays and all that. But I'm learning a lot. I'm learning from the best of the best, and I'm trusting the process. And I'm not sure when my Sports Center debut will be, but I know hopefully it won't be my last. I'm doing everything I can to have an extended, very long career at ESPN. This has been a dream of mine, and I got to thank my parents, man. They without them, this doesn't happen, and I'm just so excited for the opportunity.
Where can the people find you on social media? So when you announce it, hey, this is the debate debut, they know about it.
Max McGee TV on Twitter. I try to be as responsive as I can, but I'll post an announcement, just a subtle one, when I'm going to be on, and we're going to have some fun, man.
All right, everybody, Max McGee. We appreciate it so much. Rolling out Best of a Generation, Max McGee of ESPN. Until next time, you guys take care.